I'm happy. I mean, all year I was critiqued about who I was. Nobody, I don't, yeah, the narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for the more than, it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me. Twitter is gonna go in a rage every time. And I mean, I'm happy. I feel like I've helped grow women's basketball this year. I'm super happy and excited. So I'm looking forward to celebrating in the next season.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about this Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark situation that is going viral. Now, if you guys don't know who Angel Reese is and Caitlyn Clark is, let me explain. There's a women's NCAA basketball championship that happened last night between LSU and Iowa. Now, LSU ended up beating Iowa in the championship game. And after the championship game, Angel Reese, who plays for LSU, did a celebration or taunting, right? She taunted her opponent, Caitlyn Clark, in a way that made a whole lot of people on the internet upset. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the video for you guys so you guys can see the taunt. Take a look.
And Angel Reese, after the game, finishing the way she started this season. LSU has been a confident group throughout. And Angel Reese.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, that is Angel Reese chasing Caitlyn Clark across the floor while only a few seconds was left in the game. Okay, the game was basically already over, and she was taunting Caitlyn Clark in probably the most savage way possible because she was using Caitlyn Clark's own celebration against her. The "you can't see me" celebration, the John Cena celebration, right? She was using that against her, okay? Absolutely savage. And a whole lot of people didn't like that, okay? A whole lot of people took to the internet and said that this is classless behavior. This is not how you display sportsmanship after a game. And those criticisms of Angel Reese sparked backlash from people who did think that those criticisms were warranted, especially considering how Caitlyn Clark in the past has been known to taunt her opponents. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and play a video and also an ESPN piece of them highlighting Caitlyn Clark and how she plays the game and some of her taunting that she's done before in the past. Take a look.
We love to see a good clapback, right? And no one does that better than Caitlyn Clark. I mean, just a couple of days ago in her game against Louisville, she basically told Haley Van Lith, "You're down 15 points. Shut up." We're going to go talk to some of her teammates to see what are some of their best Caitlyn clapbacks or best motivations. Let's find out.
The last game when she was like, "You can't see me." That really got everyone fired up. When she gets an and one, she'll like go like this and come to the bench and she'll be like, "Let's go." That's pretty fun. She gets pretty fiery in our timeouts. You know, she might even clap back at us because she wants us to play with that same fire, you know, and sometimes we're pretty even keeled, some of us, but she's like, "Let's go, come on, stand on the floor," whatever it may be. She always will just come to me like after a timeout, before I'm at like a tough stretch, we think, and she'll just like give me a little bit extra reassurance. Honestly, I think the last Elite Eight game, I loved that she did the John Cena thing. I think that was so.
Yeah, so you can see how the dynamics are shaping up here, right? This is the perfect racial narrative for the mainstream level media because people are saying that, look, Angel Reese is being criticized for doing the exact same thing that Caitlyn Clark did, which, I mean, I don't know. If you look at both videos side by side, I'm not sure if I would categorize them as the same thing. But the dynamic that's being played up here is that, well, one girl is black, okay, and she's getting criticism because she's black, and the other girl is white, and she's being celebrated because she's white, okay? And, of course, again, the mainstream liberal media, the mainstream liberal sports media had to make this a racial issue. This is about race to them. Take a look.
With this, we all know that there's a white-black issue here because the fact of the matter is when Caitlyn did it, people were celebrating it, and they were talking about nothing but her greatness. But then the second a sister stepped up and threw it back in her face, now you got half the basketball world saying, well, you know what? That's not the classiest thing to do.
Yeah.
That's not the way.
It was the exact same thing.
It was the exact same thing. Now, you can make an argument that if they're doing excessive celebration in her face after the game is over, all right, then you can make that argument. But you had people complaining about it when she was doing it during the game. Wait a minute. LSU told you before the game.
Yeah.
But we didn't like how she was acting towards South Carolina. She ain't going to do that against us. Correct me if I'm wrong, Janae. This is exactly what they were saying. Going into the game, they let the basketball world know, y'all think that this is going
gesture. The moment she did this and the moment she started pointing at her finger, talking about she about to get a ring, Twitter went, it started trending, and it went into a haywire. And I was just there to read the comments. I didn't want to see the comments. I'm like, really? I'm like, one of our own, Danny Cannell, that used to work here, told me it was classless.
Who?
Danny Cannell.
Oh, Danny Cannell.
Yeah, okay. Skip, I'm like, hold on. So I went back and see, did he say anything about Caitlyn Clark? Was it classless when she did it? No, nothing. Everybody loved it. Skip, a lot of these women in college basketball, a lot of the black athletes, they have their hair they have their lashes on, they have their nails done. A lot of them are tatted up. Some of them had dreads. So they don't project the role. And like she said, I don't fit your image. I don't fit the box that you want me to fit in. And I'm cool with that. Angel Reese is what we call, she said unapologetically me. She meant unapologetically black.
Yes.
And she was talking about the little black girls. Don't you feel some type of way? You represent who you are. You stand proud and you stand on what you believe in. Skip, this was a great game. And unfortunately, Skip, we're not really talking about the demolition job that they did.
It was a great game for LSU.
Yes. Skip it. I mean, it got close there. Caitlyn Clark came out and hit a couple three.
Did you ever really?
No. They had spent their wad Friday night beating South Carolina.
They did.
But Skip, I mean, how do we? It's so obvious what this is. Skip, this is not about anything else other than race. And I wish we didn't have to talk about it. I wish you and I could come out here and talk about what a great game. And Kim Mulkey, she did an unbelievable job in only her second year. She put LSU, they're a power now. People got to respect this women's college basketball program. She's one of the 2 or 3 greatest coaches, probably Gino, Coach Pat Summit. Now you got to go Kim Mulkey as the third greatest college female basketball coach in history.
I'll buy that.
But what we're talking about, because right down the middle, we see 2 different gestures. And one is a celebration. It's celebrated as, it's celebrated. The other is condemned. And why? Only because a black did the exact same gesture that a white female did 48 hours earlier. Skip, now don't forget now, Caitlyn Clark been talking that ish. You remember her and the Louisville player got into it. Ain't nobody know that's swag. Ooh, Caitlyn Clark, she liked that. That's the Mamba mentality. Everybody was loving it.
You're down 15, shut up.
Angel Reese can't say nothing.
Yeah.
Angel Reese do that. Why are you doing that? You're not an NBA. This not yada yada yada. They have so much negativity to say.
Yeah. So you seen that, you heard that, right? The woke media is crying racism. Okay, they're saying that the criticisms of Angel Reese versus Caitlyn Clark come from a place of racism. Now, this is what I want to say about this, right? Here's what I want to say, because I think that both sides of this are overreacting, right? I mean, I know people expect me to come up here and say, oh, of course you're not going to side with the black woman. You sell out, right? That's what people are going to think. But actually, what I think is that the criticisms of Angel Reese are stupid, right, or dumb, because, look, it's sports, man. And at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to have players that are going to taunt and going to do stuff like that, right? And if you don't want players doing that to you, then you need to win, right? If you don't want to be taunted, you need to win. Me personally, again, I like good sportsmanship. I don't think that what she necessarily did was the greatest example of sportsmanship, but I understand why she did it in the context of what may or may not have been said during the game, okay, and also before the game, and considering the fact that, again, these are athletes. They saw what Caitlyn did in prior games and how she has a reputation for being a trash talker. Okay, so I get it, right? I understand why she did it in the moment. Now, do I think she went a little bit overboard? Yeah, she went a little bit overboard, okay? She chased her around the court. I think that, yes, once you get into that territory of chasing somebody around the court that purposely get in their face, yeah, I think you're going a little bit too far. But ultimately today, I don't think that Caitlyn was that hurt by it, right? I think that at the end of the day, again, it's just sports, man. It is what it is. And honestly, it's a good thing that it kind of happened because nobody really cares about women's basketball. And stuff like this being a part of the game is what gets people to actually care and to watch. Because otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about this if it didn't happen, right? But, I do think that the people crying racism are also reaching as well, too. And the reason why they're reaching is because, again, people don't watch women's basketball like that. So most of the people that are probably criticizing Angel Reese without context in regards to what led up to that, right? The history of what Caitlyn Clark, does when she plays the game. I think those people probably were unaware, right? They probably didn't know. So it probably was a knee-jerk reaction to watching a championship game, right? And not really knowing the context and history of the players and what happened leading up to that. I think that's where a lot of it comes from because, again, who watched Iowa's games versus, other teams before in the Elite Eight or whatever? Nobody watched those games. Like, let's keep it 100. Nobody really cared about those games, right? People watch the championship. People care about the championship game, though, right? So enough people watch the championship game because, again, it's the championship that people probably saw that for the first time and didn't realize that, oh, okay, she's actually doing her own celebration back against her. And, hey, this is something that has history behind it. So, again, I think both sides are overreacting here. I think the people that are so upset about Angel Reese taunting Caitlyn Clark, I think they're reaching. And I think the people crying racism are also reaching, right? Because I don't think that the criticism comes from a place of actual racism because, the reaction was different when Caitlyn Clark did it. Well, the reaction was different because it wasn't a national championship game in which she did it, right? And also on top of that, it wasn't so overt. It wasn't so, in your face the way that Angel Reese did it, right? So that explains the difference in reaction. It's not about race. Race doesn't have anything to do with the criticism, I don't think, because it's not like Angel Reese is the first black player to ever taunt another player, right? She's not the first to do that, okay? If it was about race, then every single time a black person taunts a white person or whatever, there will be backlash. But there's not. It's only backlash now because, again, it was done at a championship game. It was done in a way that was very overt. It was very in your face, and it probably made people uncomfortable. And again, that's going to happen. A lot of those people probably had no clue about what led up to that and why she was doing it the way she was doing it. Again, do I think that her taunt was a little bit overboard? Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a little bit overboard. But at the same time, I think that the reactions to it in regards to people calling the criticism of it racist is also an overreaction as well, too. Okay, I think all sides are overreacting. It's just sports. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I think people, got to chill out when it comes to stuff like this, to be quite honest with you. But, hey, and for women's basketball, any type of publicity or notoriety is good for them, okay? It actually brings some entertainment and incitement to the sport. So it could be a good thing overall that people are talking about this. I just don't like the race angle here because, again, that's the easy thing. That's the easy way to try to interpret this when I don't think the race angle is really needed here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are upset probably just watch this game and don't really know that much about the players or the history or anything like that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.